Morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the North Bank podcast. I'm your host, Holly. This is a good evening for me and Steph. We're recording on a Sunday evening. Hi, Steph.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good. Today's show, we're going to be looking back at the Mansfield game yesterday, a little bit of a look ahead to Leverkusen on Wednesday. But as is the norm these days, got a couple of questions to get you viewers and listeners engaged. Question number one, does it matter how we played yesterday? I found myself getting into a few debates, shall we say, with people about that matter. So does it matter how we played yesterday? And to tag on to the end of that, does it matter how we play in any of the remaining games this season? Question two, this is kind of born out of idleness, I guess, today. From where we are now, what qualifies as success? I have thrown that one out before, and I'm going to keep revisiting it every couple of weeks. And question three, I've only got three questions, and this is, again, scraping the bottom of the barrel somewhat. Is City winning yesterday against Newcastle a good thing or a bad thing for us? I know City winning against Real Madrid in the Champions League, for me, is an absolute shoe-in as a yes, they have to win that game because I want them playing Bayern Munich away just before we go there in the league. But is City winning yesterday against Newcastle in the FA Cup a good thing or a bad thing? I have my own views on that. But we'll get to those three questions as we progress through the remainder of this show. First, though, Steph, you were at the game yesterday, and I've never been to Mansfield. So what was it like? What was the build-up like? I know you posted on the socials the approach to the ground and so on. It wasn't quite on a level with Luton, but not far off it.
No, it wasn't. So it's your classic lower league ground set amongst terraced housing, in a small town in the East Midlands. Luton has that unique thing of being built almost within like people's back gardens. This was a little bit more sort of standalone on the crest of a hill, on Quarry Lane, and yeah, it was very good. Pleasingly for me, up in Norfolk, it was only a couple of hours away. So
it's a home game.
I know. Leaving in daylight and coming home in daylight is quite a rare thing, and so I quite enjoyed that factor of it. Look, it was very good. The approach to the ground, just very small. They had us parked. They had a little retail park next to it, and we were sort of going, so where's the official bus coaching? And they were like, this is it. Because they just parked us off to one side while there were shoppers going and do their like shopping at Dunelm and Pound Stretcher and all that kind of stuff as well. And we were like, oh, okay, fine. We're right to leave the minibus there. And they were like, yeah, it's all good. It was so small, and we were like, well, so how many coaches are Arsenal bringing? And again, hadn't factored in that we had 1,600 tickets. It was just like, well, there's 3. It's like 3 buses where normally there's like a whole fleet turning up. But the Arsenal fans that were there seemed to be enjoying it, and so were the Mansfield fans. There was a lot of good videos going around today of the players signing things and having photos taken, and it's really hard to strike that balance, is it, of not being patronising and taking them seriously, and we'll get onto the performance in a moment, and then also sort of being professional and doing all those sorts of right things. And in that sense, I think both clubs handled it really well, because they made a really big day of it, and we took it seriously in the way that we did. Their fans, have to credit them. Our away end was pretty good, but to be honest, the nervy performance and how it was a bit of an iffy start, that sort of quietened down as a little bit. You know, we weren't able to be as joyous as we might have hoped to have been. It all was kind of built up towards the end, but the Mansfield fans to our right in what would be the main stand were relentless. They had a drummer. They had safe standing. Here's the thing. So they had safe standing, all that new railing around the seats, but in the upper bit, which I thought was really odd. I thought would have had the safe standing down the other end or something like that. So I'd never seen that before. But it was, very good.
Excellent. Was there like an away pub before the game?
If they were,
it was a bit early. Actually, it was a bit early.
It was
in the
a
day,
bit
wasn't
early
it?
for that sort of thing, so we just grabbed some food beforehand, to be honest, because with very little time to do anything. A lot of other people were able to get trains and then walk from the centre. So I think a majority of people did that, but we drove. So yeah.
And then the team news dropped, and you got hold of the team news before I did, and you just said, "Can someone help?" Like,
Yeah.
Where are the players playing? And so just to remind everyone, we played a 3-1-4-2. So with Salmon, Mosquera and Calafiori as the back three, Norgaard in front of those guys. And then Madueke, Dowman, Trossard, Martinelli with Havertz and Jay Ziznab. Havertz dropping deeper, I assume.
Yeah, it was.
And Arteta admitted it after the game that we tried this back three formation for 10 minutes during the week, and to put a 16-year-old, and I must say that, we're the first Premier League team ever to start with two players aged 16 or younger in the game, which I think so. This kind of feeds in straight away to that first question. Is like, does it matter that we didn't play well yesterday, or is that because for me, no, not at all. The mitigation is valid. Like from team selection, from the pitch, like I commented somewhere that if that was a Premier League game, that Mansfield would have had 3 or 4 yellow cards in the first 5 minutes. It just wouldn't have. And so, but then I want to read you out a quote. As a kid, I just wanted to play for Arsenal or play against Arsenal. I've managed to do that now, and that's the man of the match, Rhys Oates. And that's what we're up against yesterday. It was a free hit for them. They're not safe in League One, but they're edging that way. But this was a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lower league professional footballer to play against their idols, or to judge themselves. Like, how did we do against? Because it doesn't matter what Arsenal team what team we would put out. It was going to be a strong team. I think we ended the game with 10 internationals, I read somewhere. Let me just read what Chris said as well, because it kind of echoed into that. First thoughts were that it was a bad performance by us and there were no excuses for it. Poor pitch, heavily rotated team. But that feels now like I'm taking credit away from Mansfield, for whom this was the game of their season, possibly more. So ultimately, well played Mansfield, and we move on to a home draw with Port Vale. We'll come back to that because there is already a swathe of Man City and Chelsea fans losing their collective minds over the inevitability that Man City get Chelsea and we get home tie against Port Vale. I mean, just for that alone, I'm willing it into existence. So let me go through a couple of little things, and I want you to give me, because you were at the game, and I was watching the game, my daughter was watching it, and she'll vouch. I wasn't nervous, I wasn't tense, I wasn't frustrated. I was getting a little bit frustrated at some, our profligacy in front of goal. I thought we could have been a bit more clinical. Yes, we were a little bit porous, but did we concede the first goal at Portsmouth as well?
We conceded the first goal at Portsmouth. We didn't concede the first goal yesterday. No,
exactly. So, no, not as well. Yeah, sorry. And I was thinking, like, that's fine. We'll play our way into the game. This team, these players, okay, they're not jaded legs or anything, and tired minds, but they have no idea how to play with each other because they've never played together before, like as such. So they had to get first 10, 15 minutes to get used to, and a brand new system as well. Personnel new, and so I was kind of reasonably calm. I'm not saying we were brilliant or anything. I'm not saying at all, but we didn't need to be, and that wasn't the point of the game. The point of the game was to be in the draw for the quarterfinal. That was it. So my positives, Madueke, I thought was excellent, and as the game went on, I think he played like a senior player. He took control, he took responsibility, which was impressive. Max Dowman was ridiculous, like to the manner born. Like, you can complain about the pitch, but then that argument falls aside when you look at his performance. I thought Eze, with his goal in particular, Havertz getting his minutes, and I thought Norgaard again was a really calming influence on the rest of the team as well. Injuries to Trossard and Calafiori, I haven't heard anything about them. I don't know. It's just unfortunate. You don't want that. I said our profligacy in front of goal. And the goal we conceded, Marley Salmon's getting the pelters, inverted commas. But for me, Mosquera was as culpable, if not more culpable, because as Marley Salmon played the ball, the camera angle was perfect. Like, Mosquera, you can get that, but he hesitated or he stepped back, and I'm like, he turned a weak pass into a bad pass, rather than turning a weak pass into a good pass and so on. And I do think Kepa should have done better. It went straight through him. Like, it's. I know he hit it hard, but it went straight through him. But again, the guy who scored the goal, I believe, I might have this wrong, that he was spotted playing for Cardiff University.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so different pathways into. He's up against Marley Salmon, who's been at Arsenal since he was like 2 or something. It's like, and he's going to play up, isn't he?
Yeah.
So that's my take. I don't think it mattered yesterday how we played. It was just getting through, and there are some positives there. Yeah, Jesus and Martinelli did not justify their presence on the pitch. I thought they were poor, Jesus in particular. But at the game itself, in the crowd, what was it? What's your take on it?
The crowd and the reaction was much more negative, because it was incredibly frustrating, because we expect more from some of these players, and it was a feeling like it was the perfect storm for Banana Skin to kind of unfold, and being there just added to those nerves. Mitigation is absolutely right, and I just want to link back to a clip we put out weeks ago now, where at this point of the season, like, no one cares how you play, but if the result's right, like, it's all that matters. I mean, I think I even said it a few weeks ago where I said no one ever cares how their team plays if they win. Like, so it is what it is. That said, I did feel that disconnect. So what you then said, watching it, since watching the highlights back again today, there were those bright spots and there were those chances that got lost in some of the errors and the nervousness of the performance. And actually, I'd just like to echo what Chris has said and just big up to Mansfield, because I thought they were really good. They were direct, they were aggressive, they tried to press us high on occasion as well. It wasn't like they just parked the bus, and that certainly did disrupt a few players who, like you say, they're in unfamiliar settings and they're in an unfamiliar formation, and none of them are in any kind of rhythm really, so I get that. Mosquera and Martinelli, Jesus, are the three that probably stand out as the most disappointing, because they are the more senior players. You're always going to cut a huge amount of slack to 16-year-olds. They're 16. It's just ridiculous how young they are. And I think we can call Marley Salmon 16 and a half. Fine.
He's 17 in August.
Right. Okay.
End of August.
Yeah. And like I say, that the goal we conceded aside, and I'm like you, actually, I think Mosquera needs to do better there. And Salmon was disappointed, and he needed an arm on the shoulder a little bit. But I thought otherwise he was quite
really good. Yeah.
I thought he was absolutely fine. Didn't look overawed at all. But
when he fills out, he's going to be some impressive physical specimen. Like, yeah. He's big lad. Like,
that was the one thing that someone near to me noted, that compared to these other more seasoned footballers of Mansfield, let alone they're men, aren't they? And he's only 16, so yeah, still got room to grow. Dowman is an interesting one because he was great. He's got this wonderful style where he's got super glue on his boots and the ball just kind of sticks to him. I did get a little frustrated, I have to admit.
No.
There were a few occasions in the game where I just thought, release the ball. You've done the hard bit. You've dribbled a bit. You've done all the close control stuff. Release the ball. And I just, whether that was the excitement of being in the stands or whatever, fine. But there was a moment when, in the first half, I think it was, where
he could have scored twice.
And those were absolutely brilliant runs. But there was a moment in the first half where we were defending, and as the ball's coming out, he's tried like a backheel flick that's then lost possession, and it's just those moments in there. And look, it comes from experience. And he's 16. I want my 16-year-old who's coming into the Arsenal side to play with just, attacking natural kind of flair. He'll learn through experience about things like game state and field position and where to take those risks and where not. That purely comes from experience. But yeah, those dribbles, those mazy dribbles.
Yeah, I don't want him playing safe.
Incredible.
And it was so nice to see him in the middle as well, because he was much more. He's on the right. You're more peripheral naturally.
Yeah.
And I think that was a real testament to his character.
Yeah.
For me, that was his best game in an Arsenal shirt for me, because he was playing against seasoned professionals who left something on him every time they got an opportunity to. Didn't bat an eyelid.
No.
He was, his performance missed a goal. That was it. It was a 9 out of 10 performance with a goal. It was a 7 out of 10 performance without the goal as a professional footballer. But then, he's 16. Like, he turned 16 on New Year's Eve.
And compare him to the players around him. I know Jesus was playing a bit further forward, but Havertz was essentially playing the same sort of position as him, and Dowman outshone both.
Yeah.
To be honest. So,
in fairness, I would have outshone Jesus on yesterday's performance.
He was really absent. And Martinelli was that classic frustrating Martinelli where...
I'm wondering, was the pitch a problem for him as well?
Something was a problem for him, because it was marked by the fact that I was reading an edition of the Gooner fanzine from earlier in the season on the way up as I sort of worked my way through them. And I was reading an article in there, I can't remember who it was by, but they were talking about Martinelli. Sometimes he shoots when he should cross, and sometimes he crosses when he should shoot. And I'm then watching the game going...
And that's what you see.
Oh, yeah. All
confirmation
day.
Bias.
Yeah, so I don't know if that had sort of coloured my my vision for that particular game, but it did feel like one of those where it was like, some of the decision making, some of the control was just a bit off. It was a bit weird. Yeah, the pitch wasn't great. We were listening to TalkSport on the way back. Even Nigel Clough, Mansfield manager, sort of mentioned about it, himself, knowing full well that it's not the kind of carpet that they're probably used to. But at the same time, both teams have got to deal with it, so we had to make it work.
I mean, the Port Vale pitch today, where they turned Sunderland over, that looked a lot worse. And
that's a Port Vale pitch where we kind of only narrowly won. We beat them, I think it was 2-0.
2-0, yeah.
But it wasn't a one where we were just fluent and amazing. It was a bit of a grind.
Do you think we could get 3 League One teams in a row in the FA Cup?
Fingers crossed.
I just want to see it, not even because it eases our schedule and workload and allows rotation and gives us on paper an easy route into the semi-final. I just want to see their head loss from the other fans. I just want to go. I just go. I won't antagonise anyone, but I will just watch with just glee. I just hope it happens after what happened in the Champions League draw. A couple of kind of more generic observations. That we scored our 100th goal of the season, and that was the first goal yesterday. We're on 101, and that's in 46 games we've played so far this season, with a guaranteed 12 to go. We're only the third team, and this is like a little bit of a bite back at those, that kind of lazy narrative that's doing the rounds about Arsenal ruining football. We're only the third team across Europe's top 5 leagues to get to 100 goals, behind Bayern and Barca. So that's pretty good company. And in the Premier League, we are the top scorers in the Premier League. We're the only Man City we're the joint top scorers with Man City, and only Man City have scored more open play goals than us this season, and no one scored more open play goals than us since the turn of the year. Just by comparison, I thought that was quite interesting. And I thought, okay, by comparison, how have we fared last season or the last few seasons in terms of goals scored? So I had a little look. In 22-23, which is the exciting season where we were free flowing and where we bottled it, because we only won 16 of the last 18 games and City won 17 of the last 18 or something stupid like that. We actually scored 103 goals that season in all comps in 49 games. So we're 2 goals behind that tally with 3 games to match the number of games they played. So in 3 games less. So we're actually outscoring that team. In 23-24, and I don't have the number of games because, frankly, I couldn't be bothered at this point to find that. 23-24, we scored 116 goals in all competitions, and last season we scored 115 goals in all competitions. So we've got a minimum of 12 games left.
And I'm sure I read it's a maximum of 19. Is that right?
I've got it. Yeah, so we could play
games.
two games in.
Was 3 FA Cup games.
So there could be 5 in the Champions League.
Yeah,
so 1, 5, 6, and then 3 FA Cup.
I mean, that's half a season. Sometimes
Well,
that's half a season
United.
for Man United this season.
Stop it. Don't encourage me. So that got me thinking about something else. Let me ask this question. Did we lose any player in the summer, transfer-wise, who scored a lot of goals for us last season? I know Ranieri left in January on loan, but did we lose anyone in the summer?
Not that I can remember.
No. So Eze's goal for us yesterday was the 19th goal scored by a sub this season.
Wow.
So that's hashtag squad depth, yeah? And so then I thought, well, that took me on to another place. I thought, well, how many goals and assists have all the new signings this summer contributed this season? So Gyökeres, 15 goals and 2 assists. Eze, 8 goals and 5 assists. Madueke, 7 goals and 3 assists. Zubamendi, 6 goals and 3 assists. Hincapié, 1 goal, 1 assist. Norgaard, 0 goals and 2 assists. Given a total of 37 goals and 16 assists from our summer signings. That's pretty impressive, don't you think?
That's very good.
And we are actually tearing up the record books for Arsenal. Like, we've got that many games to go, and we're already only 2 goals behind our 22-23 tally. I don't hear another English club that's got 100 goals this season. I don't know how many Man City have. They got was it 3 yesterday at Newcastle? So I wrote this down before those 3 goals. So I don't know if Man City have now joined the 100 club. I have no idea. So that's pretty good, though, isn't it?
But it's also the fact that, like you say, I like the fact that goals are coming off the bench as well, because that squad depth, that ability to change games, and Arteta obviously using that well. I mean, it was interesting yesterday that the personnel, no one really had a problem with that. It was just the way it seemed to configure on the pitch didn't quite work for a little time. But we all wanted that rest, knowing that the Beyer game was coming up, and so to not even include Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, Zubamendi, Rice, just absolutely brilliant. Gyökeres stayed on the bench, and we managed to get the job done.
I cannot, and I am quick to fault Arteta and his lack of or poor or sceptical use of squad. I can't fault him at all for yesterday. No. And we a little nod. We've acknowledged Salmon and Dowman, but a little nod of congratulations to another right back called Dixon from Stoke.
Absolutely.
In Jaden Dixon making his debut as well.
Big hair, low socks. That's what I took away from his performance.
I think he played okay.
Yeah, he was good. It's fine.
From what I saw,
he looked strong.
I think he has played first team football before, though, hasn't he? Yeah. Like for Stoke, so he's a little bit more seasoned. So it doesn't matter. I think we decided it doesn't matter how we played.
Not really. I mean, it was a bit frustrating to watch, but yeah, fine.
It could have been a banana skin. Port Vale beat Sunderland today.
Yes.
1-0.
Not so much of a banana skin, but from lower division, Southampton beat Fulham right at the death.
Yeah, so
Port
Championship.
Vale, Sunderland.
So, and is it West Ham Brentford tomorrow, and then the draws? Yeah. Is the draws either before or after that game? I don't know.
It's usually on the One show. I don't know why, but it is.
Oh right. And you've got you've got Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, obviously, as the
I'll be
main
disappointed if that's the semi-final. You know, if they all avoid each other, that'll be...
We can't, can we? There's only Port Vale and...
Well, you've got Southampton, Port Vale, Leeds, and then one of West Ham and Brentford. So, you know, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal could avoid each other, but I sort of hope Chelsea and Man City do get each other.
Yes, I mean, I
hope we avoid them.
I don't want to get any of those three.
No.
I've heard Chelsea fans say they want Arsenal because they're going to have all their squad available this time and they'll beat us this time.
Well, so that's the thing I'm sort of worried about. So one, I mean, I was messaging during the Chelsea Wrexham game because I thought, actually, I'm watching this and going, I think I'd rather play Chelsea again. And then when Chelsea came back, I was like, oh, we're definitely going to get Chelsea, aren't we? And I really don't want to play Chelsea again.
No.
There's too much narrative. I'm fed up of the sight of them, even though we've beat them. And
we've won 3, drawn 1 this season
exactly,
so far.
So I don't need that.
Look, first and foremost, a home draw.
Yeah.
And then we'll take anyone with that, but I don't want City or Chelsea.
Selfishly speaking, and I messaged you this earlier, I'm going to say it because I think it. I didn't get to go to Vale Park for the League Cup game at the start of the season, so I wouldn't mind a trip to Vale Park, tick off another ground like I did for Mansfield. Don't get me wrong, like for the season and the team, yeah, home draw,
home to Port Vale
would be lovely. Yeah. And I suppose we should return the favour after they hosted us. But really, for pure selfish reasons, I'd like away end Stef to be at another away end that he's never been to before.
And how do you feel about Man City beating Newcastle yesterday? Well, what's your thoughts on that? Did you want them to stay in the competition or did you want them kicked out?
I can't really decide because on the one hand, you have that argument where it's more games in the legs, more pressure, more... what would you say, work in the legs of the squad and all those sorts of things as well. But actually in the FA Cup, I'd like them to taste that defeat maybe. And so when Newcastle took the lead, I was like, oh, hello, here we go. They'd gone fairly strong. City had made a lot of changes. Only when Marmoush scored and then scored again, I was like, yeah, I'm out. So, because Newcastle seemed to disappear.
Yeah, I absolutely wanted Newcastle to win.
I just thought
on the back of them dropping points at home to Forest in the previous game to then lose to Newcastle in the FA Cup just would have created that negative momentum.
Well,
if there's such a thing.
But then that would have undermined what you said before about wanting them to beat Real Madrid.
Yeah, no, but that's purely because I want them. I want them away. No, I want to win the FA Cup, and Man City are a big threat to that. So I want them kicked out. I'd fancy us playing Newcastle more than I'd fancy us playing Man City. And I'm not saying we're guaranteed to win either of those games, but I would just rather be playing Newcastle in a final, for example, than playing Man City in a final.
Yeah, because what worries me is the way the draws might open up. If we were to get Man City, we've already got them in the League Cup final. If we were to get them in the FA Cup and perish the thought in the bloody Champions League.
Only in the final in the Champions League.
I know, that'd be even worse.
Yeah, we could bury them in everything.
Or the opposite.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd terrify me.
Not thinking it. I don't want a rerun of 1999 season where a club from Manchester.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And the real reason I wanted, I think, Newcastle to win yesterday was, to end their quadruple talk. I mean, I don't believe any team can win a quadruple. It takes so much. And when I saw that stat that we could have up to I'm sure it said 19 games, but like another 19 games in this squad's legs when we've been talking about tiredness and this, that and the other. It's like, wow, that's like another half season. It's no wonder teams
plus
don't
the
do
internationals coming up next
with
week.
Internationals where we know Arsenal players in all the different corners of the world will be overused for pointless friendlies. Oh, it does my head in.
Okay.
Sorry.
We'll talk about Leverkusen in a second, but my final question was the naughty one.
Yeah.
From where we are now.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? What would qualify as success? Because you said last time you said any of the trophies.
Well, the dial's shifted on that, hasn't it, in the league? Because of the Forest draw at Man City. So, I really want that now.
So, win the league and nothing else?
No, I'd work, because we're in the final of the Carabao Cup, so I want that as well.
And the draw for the Champions League has been favourable.
Feels a lot further away. I don't like all this talk about favourable draw in the Champions League either, because...
Well, it is.
Well, of course it is, but I don't like it.
It puts the pressure on.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly, because that'll be it'll be another stick to beat us with, but they're all good teams, and Bodo Glimt are dangerous, but...
Yeah, okay. Well, so look, we have got the Champions League back again on 5:45 p.m. kickoff on Wednesday.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that till you told me.
So that's away at Leverkusen. Now, Leverkusen are in no great shakes in the Bundesliga. They drew 3-3 away at Freiburg yesterday. I think they're sitting in 6th. They've won 2 of the last 6. I looked at their kind of lineup. I recognised Jarell Quansah as a defender, and the Palacios. Is the Palacios the same Palacios that played for Spurs, or am I thinking of a different era?
No, that was too long ago. Wilson Palacios from Honduras. I think he was one of 4 brothers that played.
Well, maybe this is another brother then.
Maybe it could be, yeah.
So they're 22 points behind Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, or they were when I checked the table yesterday. That may have changed. I don't know. In the Champions League, they finished 16th. On 12 points, so quite a way down. And they got through against the Olympiacos from memory, 2-0 on aggregate. I think they won 2-0 out there and they drew 0-0 at home. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, we're probably heavy favourites to win the game, or win the tie, perhaps. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, quietly optimistic, because of the draw and being home second as well. Leverkusen, a team we've played in recent history and won as well. They are a team that have gone through a huge amount of change. You know, it was only 2 seasons ago that they did the Invincibles in Germany under Alonso and had some excellent players, but a lot of those players have now been sold. We've got Nkapia.
We've got one of them.
Marmouche. Where did Marmouche come from? Was he Leverkusen? I can't remember, but yeah, a lot of those players have gone.
Xhaka.
They ended up, yeah, exactly. They got Ten Hag in after Alonso, and that did not go well. Yeah.
Well, wasn't it when they got Ten Hag in? Xhaka said, "No, I'm off."
Kind of did feel like that, didn't
it? He had one training session or 1 week of training sessions. No.
I'm
Sunderland, I'm yours.
No offence to Sunderland. Sunderland are amazing, but that was a real surprise today. So quietly optimistic, but we'll obviously have to do a job, and I'm just glad that the spine of the team that I mentioned before have all been rested, and we should be able to go pretty full bore at it. On
that then, what do you think his lineup will be?
Do you want me to read Chris's first?
Yeah.
So Chris has gone with the team. Raya in goal. Oh, rested legs return. Chance to resume our excellent Champions League campaign. Raya in goal. Timber, and he's got Saliba / Mosquera, depending on injury. Big Gabby, Nkapia. Midfield 3, Eze, Zubamendi, Rice. And then a front 3, Saka, Gyökeres, Trossard. My team is very similar to that. However, I'm not sure Trossard makes it. I'm basing that purely on just how his injuries seem to unfold. I do wonder if, because we brought in Nkapia on for Trossard in the game.
And changed formation, didn't we?
And changed formation. So it makes you wonder if it's like, hey, Trossard, just go down and we'll pull you off. Make out like it's an injury, but we're going to change the system because this isn't working and we need you for Leverkusen. So, yeah, maybe he will be available.
Possibly, yeah.
Maybe I'll change my mind when I get to it. But I may have overthought this. So I've got Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Nkapia. Obviously, if Saliba's not available, then Mosquera has to start. And because Martinelli so annoyed me in the thing. I've gone Havertz, Rice, Zubimendi in midfield, and then a front three of Saka, Gyökeres, Eze. But what I'm thinking is, actually, Trossard is probably fit enough, or hopefully will be, Emil on the left, and then Eze will be in the Havertz position. So, but I've said Havertz and Eze, that's what I've got written down, so I'm going with that.
I know Havertz got like 60 minutes again. I can't see him starting.
No, I know.
And I don't think he should. Off the bench for 20 minutes or so. I think he'll start against Everton at the weekend. I think that would be his... Well, assuming everything goes well. Okay, I've got Raya in goal, and again, these are all caveated by the injury situation. Timber, Saliba, if fit, Gabriel and Hincapié, Zubimendi, Rice and Eze in the middle. And I've written down Saka and Gyökeres, and then I've put Martinelli / Trossard. If Trossard's fit, I want Trossard to start.
Yes.
Although, I mean, you could argue that Leverkusen being at home, they might be on the front foot a little bit more, might create a little bit more space for Martinelli's pace in behind. Madueke, I thought, played really well. There's a chance he could shift over to the left as a reward for his performance yesterday. Eze, I think, with his goal, and what a shot that was, by the way, against Mansfield. With his goal, I think he's bought himself another start. In the absence of Ødegaard, he absolutely has. I read somewhere that the Norwegian manager has said that he kind of almost expects Ødegaard to be present for international duty at the end of the month, that his injury is minor and it is just kind of a time thing, not any bigger concern. That, but the game before the international break is the League Cup final. I'm already thinking that's only 2 weeks. If he doesn't come off the bench, if he's not in the squad against Leverkusen or against Everton, then he's definitely not starting at Wembley the following weekend. If he's in the squad, either one of those two squads, and he gets like 20 minutes and maybe starts in the return Leverkusen game, then perhaps he can get a start at Wembley. Otherwise, I think it'll be Eze. Obviously, Eze can play himself into that final by putting in match-winning performances in every game he plays between now and then, which would be nice. But what's your score? What's Chris's score prediction?
Oh, I didn't see Chris's score prediction. He said 1-1.
I feel like chanting at him, "Are you Stef in disguise?" What have you gone for?
1-1. KG first leg away. Just, holding our own and then do the business at home. Yeah,
I think we'll win the game. I've got us down for a 2-1 win.
Okay.
If Saliba starts, I wouldn't be surprised for it to be a 2-0. I think we'll win. I think it will be cagey to begin with, absolutely. But I think within the game itself, I think it'll be comfortable enough. I mean, I hope it is.
Because it'll be hard for Leverkusen, because obviously the Champions League has been a real boon for us this season, because teams are generally more open in Europe against us. And like you say, it half of it is the psychology. Leverkusen are in the last 16. They're at home. Are they really going to try and low block it and
go out with a whimper?
No, exactly. So they're going to kind of go for it. So we'll have to resist that. And last couple of games, I felt Mansfield and who did we play before that?
Brighton.
Brighton. Both teams were quite good at disrupting our build-up from the back. So could be one of those games where Raya opts to go long, or the defenders go long rather than trying to pass through the lines, meaning that Gyökeres and someone like Rice in particular trying to make the ball stick if we do go a bit longer for that. But in Europe, we might have the space to also do that and mix it up. So fingers crossed.
I mean, anything, avoid defeat, and I think we'll be okay in the return leg, but come away with any victory. It's weird. And you'll see this when we do. We'll see this right now. Assuming we have a favourable result in Germany, when we do our Everton preview, I'm adopting my pre-Aston Villa home game approach or mood at the moment. I just think that there was such a seismic shift when City dropped points at home to Forest and we edged a win at Brighton. And I just think the players have to feel that.
Yeah.
I've heard this guy called Rory, I don't know what his name is. He's on TalkSport a lot, but he's a Chelsea fan. He talks about how every league title team, the fans can look at a moment and point to a moment where they say, that's when we won the league.
Mm.
That was the moment when we won the league. Now, of course, we've got the Reece Nelson Bournemouth warning in the past.
I'll give you one. Well, Welbeck's header against Leicester on Valentine's Day in 2016. We thought we'd won the league. And we didn't.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because it was more about what happened elsewhere than an Arsenal moment. It was more what it did to the opposition. We have to beat Everton, and City kick off against West Ham 10 points behind. Granted, 2 games in hand, but they start 10 points behind against a team who are fighting for their lives,
yes.
Who, with a win, can go above Spurs and get out of the relegation
Spurs
zone.
who play Liverpool.
Can I just say, so I've just reminded myself, there's quite a few funny videos. I put one on the WhatsApp group earlier. It was at the Lincoln City fans who Lincoln beat Cardiff, I think, yesterday,
they
and
did,
have gone top of League One. And so it was
it's
like
amazing.
Tottenham away, ole ole, Tottenham away, ole ole.
That's brilliant.
And apparently, loads of Championship fans yesterday have been singing the same thing.
Brilliant.
It's like, even if Spurs don't go down, and I still don't believe they will go down, it's
same.
just so funny. It's so funny.
I went to university in Lincoln, and at the time they weren't doing great. So the Cowley brothers took over towards the end of my time there, and they were starting to sort of be on their uppers a little bit, on the up a little bit more. But you know, I went to like a League Two playoff because I'd go semi-regularly when I was available, but then later on when they sort of climbed a bit more, and particularly in League One now, I went back. Me and my friend got tickets to Lincoln Grimsby, which is a real spicy kind of derby, and I was just amazed because Lincolnshire, a lot of RAF bases around the place because it's incredibly flat and near the coast, and it was the home of the Dam Busters in World War II. So I was quite surprised because they didn't do this when I was there when I was a student. But by the time I'd gone back for this Grimsby game, every time they got a corner, someone was playing an air raid siren, like winding it up and getting going with that. It was amazing. And then they were doing da 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 da. It was incredible. So that'll be interesting.
Well, we must get a Spurs fan on next season. They can tell us what the away game was like at Lincoln.
Well, on that, and I've actually forgot this about Mansfield, and people can see it on our social platforms at North Bank Pod, particularly on Instagram. But I think I posted it on all the others, BlueSky and Facebook and everything else. We were at Mansfield, and you go to away grounds, and there's a trendy thing where you put stickers up. So away fans will have stickers. There's a brilliant guy, Paddy, who does the stickers. You can see all his stuff on Instagram for Arsenal. But there was loads of Lincoln Ultras stickers everywhere, and the amount of Arsenal fans were going, look, it's a vision of the future. This is what they've got to look forward to, Tottenham.
There are some brilliant memes doing the rounds about Tottenham Stadium being in the Championship.
I've seen some AI videos where it's fans of championship clubs, very visiting. Championship clubs, visiting, going, oh, wow, look at this.
I mean, look, we've got to enjoy it because I don't think it will happen.
No, I don't think they'll go down. Goal difference will play a factor.
Although when you look at Spurs' remaining fixtures...
And the form.
Absolutely the form. Just look at the Champions League again. Give me who you think will win out on these ties. Galatasaray, Liverpool. Atalanta, Bayern Munich.
Hang on a sec. Just the games or the tie?
No, the tie. The tie.
Yeah, Liverpool.
Atalanta, Bayern Munich. I'm crossing fingers. Yeah. Atletico Madrid, Spurs.
Do you know?
No, they can't.
Atletico. But there's something in this Spurs squad and this Spurs team. They'll play way better in that game than they are doing in the league. Because
pressure off.
A, pressure off. B, I think a lot of this, I don't know, the fact that they're away first. I just see some of these players at Tottenham, they're playing for the big occasion, but they're not doing it in the league because they're not motivated enough. Whereas they'll have the motivation. It's the glamour tie, isn't it? I mean, Atletico Madrid all day long, I think.
I mean, they go to Anfield on Saturday.
That's what I mean.
Okay. Leverkusen, Arsenal.
Well, I said through the tie.
No, the
us.
tie.
The tie, us.
Bodo or Sporting, potential quarter-final opponents?
I've seen more of Bodo this season than I have Sporting. Bodo. I'm going Bodo Glimps. Me personally,
PSG.
We're going back to a Port Vale situation. It would be easier and cheaper for me because I'm the away game in the quarterfinals. If we get through, not counting my chickens, I'll be able to go to Sporting or Bodo Glimt away, and it will be easier and cheaper to go to Sporting than it will be Bodo Glimt, and I'll stand a way better chance of getting a ticket.
Yeah, but new grand.
No, well, they both are. But
right.
I mean, the idea of the Arctic Circle is so appealing.
It's got to appeal.
So
yes.
appealing. Oh,
and it won't necessarily be as cold as when City went there.
No, but I'm going Bodo.
PSG, Chelsea. First leg is away at PSG, so second leg's at Stamford Bridge.
It is. Again, I've seen PSG a couple of times this season, and I've seen a real Jekyll and Hyde team. I saw their first half against Monaco in the playoff. Were they in the playoff together? Where they were pretty awful. And then second half, they blew Monaco away.
Well, Monaco got a player sent off, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but PSG did. I mean, they were different gravy. Like I don't think it would have mattered if Monaco had kept a player on. Like it's like they figured them out. They were good. So PSG.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just curious to see what LinkedIn Liam does.
I'm not as sure on that one. I'm not as sure.
No, I'm curious to see what LinkedIn Liam does, like, a huddle around the centre spot.
Did you see? Did you read about that? Well, the players thought it would be really good because we could get like an advantage. You've just made yourself look like twats. I mean, what have you done?
Especially when it follows on the heels of complaining about an Arsenal
the goalkeeper yes.
in the opposition
that everyone else is absolutely fine with. You idiot.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't want Chelsea in the FA Cup.
Oh, God, no.
And Real Madrid, Man City. Man City home, second leg.
My gut's telling me Real Madrid, if I'm honest. I really want Man City to go through, like you say, that we need them to be playing in the next round before
unless
our games.
It completely destroys their vibe. And
it's one or the other, isn't it, that we need?
Because we play them in the League Cup just after, so if they go out
of the Champions League and we beat them in the League Cup. Pew.
I mean, what gives us a better chance of winning the League Cup? If City are buoyed by knocking Real Madrid out, or if they're...
Wouldn't like to say. Don't know.
Do you know what? I could see positives either way,
well,
but I think ultimately I want them to get through and be playing Bayern Munich in the... Well, watch Atalanta beat Bayern Munich now.
Yeah. They've got Atalanta's left back is Said Kolasinac.
Right. Who plays on the right for Bayern Munich?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not Elise, is it?
It might be Elise, actually, because Diaz plays on the left, doesn't he? So Michael Elise against Kolasinac.
I know where my money is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was like earlier today, just while I was eating before we started recording, the Milan derby was on, and 37-year-old Mkhitaryan was running midfield, and you're thinking, wow.
Not in the Premier League, he's not.
No, he's absolutely not.
Although
With a 41-year-old Modric for Milan.
Right. Kudos to James Milner in the Premier League, though. Brighton's 2 wins before they played us had him starting each game.
There you go.
So, that's ridiculous. Fair play. Right, anything else to say?
Well, you've missed a game.
Have I?
In the Champions League. Newcastle-Barca.
Oh, God, I did. Sorry. Right. Oh, yeah, Newcastle-Barca.
Barca, right?
Yeah.
I think it's Barca. Newcastle could...
Well, it is after Newcastle's performance last night.
Yeah, they can be really good, but can they sustain it? That's the thing. Not sure. What I can see is if it doesn't go Newcastle's way, someone will be sent off. They'll get ready. It'll be Joel Linton or Bruno Guimaraes. Is he fit? Is he playing at the minute?
No, I think he's still out.
No, I don't know either. Tonali was pretty good while Newcastle were on top yesterday, but then faded like the team did, I suppose. Yeah,
I'm not sure defensive they're good enough to keep Barca out, and nor are they good enough in attack to, because Barca, you can get a Barca defensively. Like Barca's defense is not their strong suit. So if you can get at them, then great. But I think Rafinha's back playing and Lamine Yamal,
frightening.
Yeah, they're quite good offensively, aren't they? Semi-final, potentially. Who would you rather meet in the semi-final of the Champions League, Barcelona or Newcastle?
Oh, Barcelona. I hate the idea and just the feel of playing other English teams in the Champions League. It just sits all wrong.
I need to check this, but I have memories of losing to Liverpool, to Man United, to Chelsea. Yep. Have we knocked an English team out of the Champions League?
Oh, now you're asking. Nothing comes to mind.
Wayne Bridge, Chelsea, Ronaldo, United, and the thing about the Liverpool defeat was I was in a pub off the Holloway Road, still celebrating the Walcott run and set up, and it was down the other end. Was it a penalty? Considered a penalty straight away? Yeah. I was like,
pathetic.
What's going on here?
It was pathetic.
I thought there was a replay of some previous incident. I was like, that didn't literally lasted a few seconds. That joy, but I don't know. Maybe someone can remind us. I don't.
Even in the Europa League, we had that stupid final against Chelsea. I don't know if we've put an English team out of Europe.
Someone will let us.
Stat Dad, your job to find out.
I'll get on that. Right. Anything else?
No, it's all from me.
Okay, so great. We'll be back for an instant reaction after the Leverkusen game on Wednesday evening at some point, although because it's an earlier kick-off, me and the old tutoring,
it might not,
I get to see some of the game.
Not so instant reaction.
It'll be a reasonably instant.
Delayed reaction.
Delayed reaction. We call it a delayed reaction.
Definitely doing that.
That's good. I think we should call that, all of them, a delayed reaction. Oh, it's funny. Right, and so we'll catch up then. All right, cheers to the chat. Cheers for listening. Cheers for watching. And have a good few days, and come on the arse against Leverkusen. Cheerio, bye-bye.
See ya.
The North Bank, an Arsenal podcast. Subscribe, rate and review on your app, and find us on your socials at North Bank Pod. Email hello@thenorthbankafc.com and check out our website, thenorthbankafc.com. Produced by the Podcast Company.